might not be starving after all. It was announced yesterday that we are getting more Godzilla DLC for Gigabash, and I, for one, could not be more happy. Even though this isn't an official Godzilla game, I'm just happy that we're getting more DLC of the big guy in Gigabash. On Twitter, Passion Republic tweeted out, "New threats are on the horizon. Who do you think is coming? Stay tuned to find out more." And to add a cherry atop of this sundae, from this tweet, for the Godzilla big dreamers out there, know that Gigabash has access to the whole vault. With the wave having the word Nemesis in the title, I think it's safe to assume we know one monster will probably be in this DLC. With all the lightning, it's probably safe to assume that Ghidorah will be in this pack. Because, come on, who is Godzilla's main nemesis in the series? But the question is, which incarnation of King Ghidorah will be in this DLC, provided if he is a character? I, for one, am more leaning towards the Heisei King Ghidorah being in this DLC, considering the main Godzilla in this DLC is the Heisei version, but that didn't stop Kiryu from showing up. Personally, I would love to see the Showa King Ghidorah be in this pack. Because in my opinion, I think the Showa Ghidorah is probably the most evil out of all the incarnations of Ghidorah. I mean, come on. He eradicated all life on Venus just for fun, and had the same plans for Earth if it wasn't for the combined forces of Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan. Some have even speculated that we might be getting the MonsterVerse Ghidorah over any incarnation from Toho, though personally I think it would be kick-ass to have Kaiser Ghidorah and or Monster X in the game. Now, we don't know how many monsters will be in this pack. I mean, it'll probably be 4 like the other two, or they may increase the number, who knows. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that once again there will be 4 monsters in this pack. I'm gonna go over my 3 picks of who I think would be awesome in this DLC pack. My first pick would be Megalon.
I am Megalon!
Jokes and memes aside, Megalon would be a perfect character in a game like Gigabash. The fact that we have Gigan in the game, Megalon has a lot of abilities, not just from his debut film, but also from the Pipeworks fighting games. Particularly, his ability to dig underground and then grab his opponents to perform attacks on, along with his Beast Killer Light Ray and his geothermal napalm bullets. Megalon is a force to be reckoned with, and I personally think he would make an excellent addition to the Gigabash roster. My second pick has to go to Orga. While he didn't have a whole lot of screen time in Godzilla 2000, I think Orga would be another great pick for Gigabash. Again, making more reference to the Pipeworks trilogy, Orga in the Pipeworks trilogy, despite his size, possessed very impressive agility in those games despite being big and slow in the movie, not to mention his physical capabilities in the game as well. I'm pretty sure when we played any of the Pipeworks games, you know Orga can practically pick up any monster with just one of his hands. Not to mention the insane knockback that his shoulder cannon got in those games. And focusing more on his movie abilities, I can see the potential of Orga perhaps maybe being the Kirby of Gigabash, specifically copying special abilities of his opponents, much like how he tried to become a Godzilla clone in the movie. And for good measure, maybe one of his abilities could be summoning the Millennium UFO to aid in attacks. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I would be very interested to see what Passion Republic could do with Orga if he was one of the characters in this new DLC. Heck, he might not even be the crazy, zany fighter we know him in the Pipeworks trilogy. He might be something completely different. And I'm all up for it. My third pick would be Hedora. Stepping away from kaiju that were not in the Pipeworks trilogy, I personally feel that Hedora would be another great choice for Passion Republic. The dreaded smog monster that threatened to overfloat the world in his very trippy debut film would be a more unique choice for Gigabash, considering the abilities he displayed in his debut film, particularly his ability to change forms. Hedora's form changing in Godzilla vs. Hedora would make for some very interesting moveset potentials for the character. For example, upon jumping and pressing a certain button, he can transform into his flying form and spray sulfuric acid mist through the air that damages opponents that are underneath him. And much like Godzilla's atomic breath, it could have its own charge. For example, a little charge, he'll just fire a few drops of the acidic sludge from his body. And at a full charge, he can fire his Hedorian ray. And for his ultimate attack, he could flood an entire area with his acidic sludge that builds up damage over time the longer an opponent stands in it. Overall, I think Hedora would be a rather interesting choice if he was one of the characters to get into Gigabash. And so, those were my picks on who I think could possibly be in this upcoming DLC. Now, I could be wrong on what characters are getting into this game, but I don't mind being wrong, because at the end of the day, I know Passion Republic is going to cook up something good. And to tell you the truth, even if we don't get another Godzilla game in a while, I'm kinda content with Gigabash getting all this Godzilla DLC. But hey, who knows? Maybe someday Passion Republic will make an official Godzilla game. Are there any Godzilla monsters you want to see in the game? Let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, I am out. You all have a good day.